right, you guys, today we're going to be making some observations of rocks. The reason why we're doing this is because Earth has been around for 4.55 billion years, and humans have been around for such a small fraction of that amount of time. And so we don't have written record of everything that's happened in the history of Earth. Right? In the video we just watched, we saw that humans have hardly witnessed any of Earth's history. And so the big question is, how do we know what we know about what's happened in Earth's past? And all of the evidence is found in rocks. So we can find evidence about the atmosphere, we can find evidence about environments, we can find evidence about what animals lived, all within rocks. So today we're going to practice making some observations of rocks. Okay. So the list here is all ways that scientists typically observe rocks. So they make note of their color, their texture, what the surface feels like, density, whether it has any of these special features. Does it have holes, fossils, crystals, layers, or smaller pieces that are all compacted together to make a larger sample? So those are some of the key features. We're not really concerned about the size of the rock because most rocks are just pieces of a bigger sample, and so it doesn't really help us to know how big the rock is. So those measurements don't really matter here. And I know that since you guys can't hold these rocks, it's going to be a little bit trickier to figure out things like texture or density. But I think that especially with texture, you guys can make some assumptions based on the pictures that you see. Okay, so we're going to make a couple quick observations here. Let's do this one first. Okay, so this rock, I noticed a lot of really interesting, unique things about it right off the bat. The first thing that I noticed is that it has some layers in it, right? And so one observation that I noticed is that it has layers. Okay, and now there are two different types of layers. You can have horizontal layers or you can have wavy layers. Okay, and this one to me looks more like it has wavy layers. So we're going to call it wavy layers. Okay, the next thing that I noticed was that it has a couple different colors in it. I noticed pink, and then I noticed this gray color. And then something else that was super interesting to me was that when I move it back and forth, it seems to shimmer and shine. So that's an indicator that it has small crystals in it. So even though we can't see the crystals, we can kind of tell that they're there because it's shimmering and shining. So it has small crystals. Okay, so those would be my 3 observations of that rock. Do one more. So this rock's a little bit larger. Again, we're not gonna write down on here anything about the size or shape. This rock is pretty much all one color, but it's a bunch of different shades of that color. I'm noticing that it's tan. Something else that stands out to me right away is that it's made up of a whole bunch of holes. Right, holes. Right, and then I'm looking over here and I've done texture or color. I'm going to do texture now. So if I am feeling the surface of it, it is really bumpy. So it has a rough texture. All right, and I have my 3 examples there done. Now I just want to show you guys really quickly the difference between crystal, that there really are different crystal sizes. This rock has a bunch of different crystals in it, but you can see the crystals. They're not those little tiny flakes like they were on the first rock. They're much bigger crystals. Okay, and then this rock is just one crystal. Okay, so there are different sizes of those. So they could be tiny little flakes, or most of the rock could be a crystal. All right, I hope that those examples help you guys make your own observations. Again, let me know if you have any questions.